Do you ever think sometimes that people just want to be heard? They don't always need fixing, but they just want to be heard. They just want to explain things, or they just want to just kind of share something or get it off their chest because maybe it's bothering them because they've been thinking about it for too long, or they've had the time sitting at home and they haven't gotten out, they haven't been around other people. And just some of those small things can snowball. They can get bigger in our minds and it can really upset us. So people don't always want fixing. They just want to be heard. So we have to learn to listen a little bit better, especially in the techie world that we're in right now. We're listening less and less, and we're on the scrolling and the clickbait and the clicking and the watching life through a window instead of really taking the actions and doing things ourselves. Even listening is taking an action. It's stop talking and listening to somebody else, giving that eye contact and really listening to them. Last year, I had a phone call with a woman. I'll say her name was Edith. She was very nice, and I didn't realize really what was going on with her. I was doing my spiel on the phone like I do every day with my job, and not really letting her talk, and I was just talking over her a little bit, and I didn't realize deep down what her health issues were, what was going on with her, and she got very upset with me, and she said, I don't know the exact words, but she pretty much hung up on me. She was so upset. She's like, I can't talk right now. And she hung up. And then I had to think about it after a while because I've never had that happen. And I was like, wow, she told me at the end she just had trouble breathing. And I think that she's like, I can't talk right now. And I just didn't listen to her. I just wasn't listening because I was talking over her. And how many times do we do this throughout the day? And it just takes a pause. Just stop yourself, take a deep breath, count in for 4 seconds, blow out for 6 seconds, or just count for 30 seconds in your head until you talk. Let them talk. And I just didn't realize it. And then I remember an hour or two later praying that this lady would call me back because I felt so bad and I just wanted to right the wrong. I just wanted to fix it because I was such a moron and I just wouldn't let this poor lady talk because it hit my heart, because she had COPD and my father had COPD. And I just remember how he struggled and how every word was so hard to get out. And when you'd try and then you build up the gumption to do it and you'd say some words and then all of a sudden somebody would cut you off and then you would try and speak again and it would happen again, and how frustrating it would be for him. I would see it on his face. And sometimes I'd have to remind some of my family members, hey, let him talk. It's going to take a minute. And I just didn't do that myself. And I learned so much from that conversation because later on at the end of the day, I got a call back from Edith and I was so happy that she called me back. It just was like, I'll do anything to make this right because I was so in the wrong. When you realize that you're just so in the wrong, and here's this woman that was struggling so bad. And she called me back and she said, I just let her talk, and she told me what was bothering her and what was going on and what she had questions about, and that I just wouldn't let her speak. And I just apologized and just gave her the time just to keep talking and get things off of her chest and tell me what it was that I could help her with or what questions I could answer for her to make things better. And at the end of the conversation, it was a really great conversation. And it was mostly just letting my patient speak, let the person you're in the conversation with talk, and just realizing, she has her own life and her own shoes that she's walking in, her own troubles. And we have to realize people around us are not the same as us. They don't have the same things going on. There's always something different, and there's always something going on. There's always some obstacle. And just sometimes people just want to be heard. You don't have to solve their world problems, but just let them speak. And then realize when you let them speak that you're actually helping with the healing process. You're helping them feel better, and you're taking that reactivity out of the equation from the person you're talking to, but plus yourself, because when somebody is upset with you or says things to you, you get upset too and reactive. And for somebody who has a lot of health problems, you want to really give them the time. So when you're there with your loved one, give them those moments, just give them time, give them that quiet. And ask them maybe a question or two, but don't over bombard them with questions, because I know I can do that too. I can ask more than one question. And my husband says, well, wait a minute, you just asked me 5 questions. Which one am I answering? So we just need to take the moment, take a pause, take a breath, and let our people that we're talking to, or our family members or our loved ones, take that breath and talk to us because they just want to be heard. And then maybe, just maybe, we can say, what can I do to help you? What is it that can make this easier for you? And we can actually solve or help alleviate the stress and the frustration by just giving them a hand and an ear to listen.